Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we're just going to have a little chat about the severe monetization of FOMO by Games Workshop, and essentially why I think we're getting to a point where you need to be fully prepared to just not allow yourself to get too excited, really harsh and miserable though that sounds. Now, before we get into things, you can probably hear that my voice is a bit knackered. I've also had a migraine for like 2 days, so this is not going to be a long video, but I wanted to talk about this because I'm pretty sure that we are going to see Cursed City dropping relatively soon, and I've already taken a bit of a step in the direction of essentially trying to come down from all of the hype. Now, if you've been watching the channel for the last couple of months, then you'll know that I'm pretty excited for Cursed City. In fact, I'm really excited for it. It looks really good. The model designs I really like. Zombies, maybe a bit over the top, but we've talked about that enough already. But there is a trend now with Games Workshop that has gone... It's happened so often now that it is clearly intentional. It's not a we didn't expect this to be so popular thing. It's a we are underproducing and saying that we didn't expect this to be so popular. Quite a few of these boxes they've done, Piety and Pain being the latest example, have simply not been produced in enough numbers for every customer to get one if they want one. Pretty much every third-party retailer that I know of, including the biggest ones, have only received 20 of these boxes each, and as such they've limited how many you could have bought to one per household. And that's because Games Workshop has only sent them 20 each. Now like Element Games, and I think Wayland had the same issue, and Alchemist Workshop, and all of these different places are not small businesses. They're not selling like 1 or 2 Games Workshop products a day. They have a large customer base who buy from them pretty religiously. And so to give them a incredibly small number of this box doesn't really make any sense unless you are intentionally making sure that numbers are limited. And that is exactly what's happening, I think. We're kind of past the point where you can continue to say, if you are Games Workshop, oh, we just had no idea it would be this popular. Games Workshop is the one company that should know how popular its products are. They are the company that have access to all of the statistics, all of the data. They are the company that know all of their own sales figures, presumably, and of course they are responsible for all of their own marketing. And as such, the excuse of, oh, we didn't realise so many people would want this, doesn't really hold water, does it? If you have sold multiple kind of variations of these boxes, and you know that people are absolutely like chomping at the bit to get their hands on them, then you would know that the next box you do, you need to have some sort of allowance for the sheer number of people who want to have access to it. To then underproduce and say, oh, we can only give 20 to various companies or third-party retailers, that doesn't strike me as being a case of, oh, we underproduced. It's a case of we are simply not producing the numbers that we could, because that way people would be more desperate to buy it. It feels like there's overall a conditioning taking place whereby we are getting to the stage that if we see a box like this that's got a couple of new models in it, a couple of, for the moment, exclusive to that box models, then you know that it is not going to be produced in large numbers. That in turn means that if you want the models that are in that box, you will really be desperate to get hold of it. The combination of limited numbers and making sure that there is something new in every single one of these now is clearly a calculated approach, and it's calculated to try and get people to be as desperate as possible to get hold of these. Of course, all of this is simultaneously affected by scalping, where people will use multiple accounts or use multiple different payment methods to pick up a couple of these boxes, and then they will sell them on eBay for way more than they're actually worth. That's the kind of atmosphere that Games Workshop are unintentionally but still successfully cultivating. By limiting the number of boxes, by putting exclusive models in there, ones that admittedly will come out separately after a while, Lilith Hesperax and the Palatine will be available as separate releases at some point, I'm absolutely sure of it, but the fact is that for now they're not. If you want those, you have to get this, and this has been produced in numbers small enough that the next time you see one of these, and you want the exclusive models, you'll know full well, I couldn't get hold of Piety and Pain. It was super difficult, there weren't the numbers, they didn't produce enough on the first run, if indeed there even is a second run, which I don't even know if there is currently. You will look at the previous record, you'll look at how quickly these boxes sold out, and you will go, I absolutely need to get my hands on this because, they make so few of them. It's pretty calculated, it plays entirely on the idea of the fear of missing out, and it's all supported by a severe amount of hype built up around the marketing. Now, I have to admit that I do, in a sense, feel responsible for that as well. Given the subject matter of this channel and what we talk about, I do get excited about the products they release. But at the same time, from this point forward, I can't help but look at boxes like this and feel that every single video we do about one of these, every single bit of news that drops about one of these, is going to have to come with a disclaimer, with a caveat. Yeah, there's this new cool box on the way. It looks cool, it looks good, but the chances are you won't be able to get hold of one. That shouldn't be something that needs to be said. But over the last, the last few of these that have been put out, I feel like that is a disclaimer that needs to be applied to all the future ones. Yes, with Indomitus, it was so popular that they ended up doing another run, they did made to order, and that's fine, but there have been plenty of boxes that have sold out super quickly that they have not done that for. And if that's going to be the way things are going forward, that means that every time we talk about one of these, there is going to be, I think, a responsibility on the side of creators like myself, I hate that word, idiots with cameras and microphones like myself, to say, hey, look at this thing they're doing. This is cool. I mean, fair warning, the chances are you're not going to get your hands on one. Not because there's any issue with manufacture necessarily, but because they probably won't make enough. And all you need to do to confirm that is look at the boxes they've already made and look at the way that they haven't made enough of those. I think at this point, these boxes, they need to come with a side of not even preemptive disappointment, a side of acknowledgement that the chances are most people who want one aren't going to get it. And that the models that are inside, you may well really want now, but you're probably going to have to wait. There are enough examples of retailers getting far fewer boxes than they wanted, and enough examples of these things selling out within 10 minutes of being put on the store to realise that there should no longer be an issue of we didn't know people would like this. At this point, you should know what people like, and you should know that if you're going to market something like this, you need to have the copies available for the people who want it. It's not a great attitude, to my mind, to have this kind of exclusive, enforced, forced scarcity sort of model. It's not a practice that leads to consumer satisfaction, it just leads to consumers wondering why it is that you never make enough of the thing that you're trying to sell. And to be honest, Piety and Pain is just the latest example of that. Anyway, did you manage to get a hold of this? Is it something that was on your list to buy? Did you find that it sold out way too quickly to get your hands on? And the idea of there only being 20 for third-party retailers, how does that sit with you? I'm assuming not all that well, but let me know in the comments. I'm now going to go and lie down in a darkened room. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the things, Patreon, videos, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link for Element Games in the description, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you for the next one.